We've been shopping! So this past weekend we went to the Milton Mowbray Rare Breeds show. We saw loads of cattle, we talked sheep, but we didn't have a trailer, so we couldn't buy any big stuff. However, 19 in total. Pheasants! Pheasants! Chicken! Chicken! Chickens! Geese! Chicken! 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 So this past weekend we went to the Milton Mowbray Rare Breed Sale. It's a 2-day event, and the first day is competition and showing, and then the second day is the sales. And the idea is that you take your best of your best and the animals you want to sell, and you take them up on the Friday, they get judged, and then if you win rosettes or champion, etc., then you're more likely to command a higher price on the sale day. Now, if you're thinking of going, I would say that the Fridays, the competition day, while really interesting, unless you're exhibiting yourself, is fairly quiet. It's a nice little day out to go around and see all the different animals, but it's not that involved, and there's not a vast amount to do other than just look at animals. It's the second sale day where it all kicks off. And that's because they have the cattle, the sheep, the pig, and the poultry auctions on at all at the same time. So if you're interested in multiple things, you are running back and forth. Now, we don't yet have a trailer, and we're not in any position to buy any more sheep or cattle or pigs at the moment. So really, we just went to those sales just to look how they were conducted. But it was the poultry, as you might have realised, that we were interested in. So let's go and see. Here is our pasture flock, by the way. Let's go and see what we picked up. Now, I should say, like with any new animal, ideally you want to quarantine it. The only ones that we haven't quarantined are the geese, because geese get super stressed in confined spaces. So the geese have gone straight into the pasture. They're also less likely to carry diseases and things. They seem to be hardier. Chickens, however, when they get stressed, can get super ill. So I highly advise, whenever you buy chickens, to quarantine them. Also, if you're buying multiple, it's a good idea to quarantine everything separately because they will have come from separate places. However, we didn't have enough space. So as we go around, you'll see that most of my chickens are lumped together. But I have one little set of beautiful birds that are on their own. So first up are a trio of lovely little modern game. Now on the farm, these don't have a lot of utilitarian use because they're small, but I have always wanted them. Look how cute they are. They're just lovely. And of course, we can breed them and sell the hatching eggs. So I've got this trio. You can see how leggy they are. And they are in this hutch. So they are separated out in this quarantine hutch. And are proving difficult to photo. Lovely, sweet little birds. Honestly, I think these are delightful. I've been wanting some for a while. Because they look so quirky. They look like little mini dinosaurs. People always think our dogs are trying to kill each other. But they're just playing. And you're quite vocal, aren't you, when you play? Bo is super vocal. So people think she's attacking and trying to kill our other dogs, but she is just a vocal player. So I had one spare hutch, so I put those modern game up there. The rest of the chickens are in this spare aviary. Now, the main thing I worry about when it comes to buying chickens in, and I haven't bought chickens in a long time, is mycoplasmosis. But once they have it, they can not only spread it, and they can only spread it when they're really stressed, and it kind of resurges, but it can also spread to the egg. So it can actually affect your hatch rates, which if you're producing hatching eggs, you just really don't want on the farm. So with chickens, it's really important to separate them when you first bring them in. Now, as I said earlier, I didn't have all the space, so the majority of the chickens have all gone in together. But in this instance, they were all bought at an auction together, so if something had it, it could have easily gone across to other pens and cages, so I'm not too worried. So, this is what I've got. So, I mean, I needed new silkies, like a hole in the head, but look how beautiful they are. So these are a blue silky. Again, it's a trio, so I've got 1 hen, 2 hen, and then the cockerel right over the back there. Really nice show quality stock. Then I got the modern game. I also got some old English game. Again, a trio. So these are dumpier. So the modern game are quite thin and tall. They look like they're on little stilts. These old English game are a dumpy type. So I've got this beautiful cockerel here. And then they're hiding right over the back. But there are 2 teeny hens. Go on, jump up. Yeah, there you go. Hi. Aren't they pretty? And then I needed some new egg layers, so I got some speckledy Sussex. I got a trio of these. Here is 1 and 2. Very pretty, really good egg layers. They had loads of normal Sussex, light Sussex, which are the white ones with the black bars on the neck. But I think speckledy Sussex are really pretty. And 3. Now 3 is in here because despite looking in the best of health, she is gurgly, and gurgling in the lungs and when they're breathing, it sounds gurgly, is a sign of a respiratory illness. So she's going to be treated, and she's not going to go anywhere near the others. She was sold in the same batch as those speckledy Sussex. Neither of those are showing symptoms or anything. It could be mycoplasmosis. She may have had it when she was younger. And then they get over it, and then when they grow up, if they get stressed, it showcases itself in a couple of ways. So we're going to get her better. She won't be able to pass it once she's not gurgling or anything anymore. But we're just going to keep her separate and treat her for now, and see how we get on. If it gets worse, we may have to dispatch because I don't want to introduce that. But I think she'll be fine. She hasn't got any bubbly eyes. She hasn't got a runny nose. It's just that little bit of a gurgle. And then on to pheasants. So we already have, as I said the other day in our pheasantry video, which I'll link up here, we've got our Reeves pheasants, we've got our grey peacock pheasants, we've got our golden pheasants, and now we have some more. So in here we have a silver pheasant male, and we have 2 young Lady Amhersts. So this is a silver pheasant male. Very vocal already. Beautiful plumage. He's not the most fantastic quality because, as you can see here, he's got a brown feather on the bottom of that wing. And then he's got another one on the other side. However, I am wondering whether perhaps he's a younger bird. He's just fully molting out. So they may actually just drop out. But I think he's very pretty. And then next door, in a crate, we have a pair of Lady Amherst. So we've got a boy and a girl. Now you might have noticed with the chickens, they're all in together. There's 2 cockerels in there and they're all in with the hens. And that's because chickens will fight and they will create that pecking order, and cockerels will fight for dominance, but they will just fight it out and bully each other to the point where you will be able to notice and then you can separate them. Pheasants are vicious. Pheasants won't just attack each other and kind of put each other in their place. Pheasants will attack to kill. So we could not put the Lady Amherst and the Silvers together. Even though the Lady Amherst are young birds, sometimes you can get away with it when they're juveniles, but the male Lady Amherst bird is starting to grow through some feathers. Just didn't want to risk it. Again, the disease factor isn't such a problem. These were actually together on the run of cages. They were in cages next door to each other. So if one of them was ill, it would have probably passed it to the others anyway. But as I say, they would kill each other, or the potential is there for them to kill each other. So you know, with a cockerel, we could go home and then the next morning we come in and it might have a bloody comb and we're like, okay, they're beating each other up. We need to separate them. With the pheasants, we would come in the next day and it could well have killed it. So we're not taking any risks. So they're there, and then the plan is we need to finish this big aviary this week, move the wood owl into that, and then the silver pheasant will go into that middle aviary. And then when the chickens come out of that aviary and go into the main coops and things, then the Lady Amherst will graduate into that. And we have the new geese. Again, they're not utilitarian. They're not going to be used for anything other than being pretty. They're in here. And they are a pair of barnacle geese. Now these guys are pinioned like so many waterfowl, and pinioning is where you've got the wing. So say this is, I can't do it. This is the primary feathers here, and this is the secondary feathers. And when they are chicks, it is legal in this country. It's not legal in every country. When they're chicks, they snip off the primary wing feather, actual bit of bone. So they can't grow primary feathers and they can't fly. However, we put the geese in here and within 2 minutes, the female had flown away. I know, disaster, especially when they were the most expensive birds that we bought. However, we discovered they have been pinioned, so she couldn't take off and fly high. She kind of just flew low, so we got her back. However, they had only recently been pinioned. Now, though I personally don't want to pinion any of my birds and would prefer to keep ornamental birds that might fly away, ornamental waterfowl, in a covered aviary, I'm not dead against pinioning, because at the end of the day you're trying to stop your bird flying away, A, because you want it, it's your bird, but also to keep it safe from predators. However, what I am not a fan of is late pinioning. When a chick or when a duckling or gosling has literally just been born, they heal so quickly. So you can snip off that little bit of wing. Not that I want to do it, but you can snip it off and it heals within, a few hours. These guys have only just been done. The end of the pinion wing is still healing and scabby. That I'm not a fan of. And while the male bird couldn't fly at all, it seems that they actually didn't pinion the female bird properly because she still had some primary wing feathers, so she was able to get off. So what we've done is we've caught them both and we've just finished the wing clipping, and now you will see they will run across the field. They'll try and take off, but they can't get anywhere, which is perfect. Now as they settle in, I'm not shutting them in the main coop at night. There's 2 Ixworth in here. I'm shutting them in the top coop and I'm putting the barnacle geese in the bottom because I want them to settle in. I don't want them to get beaten up. They're a smaller breed, and at the moment there's quite a lot of birds in here, so until we get our chicken tractors up and running, they're going to stay going to bed down there. Now those keen-eyed of you will realise that I've just shown you 17 birds not 19, and I said that we bought 19. And we did, but there's a story. So we also bought another pair of silver pheasants. So we had that cockbird, and then we bought a hen and another younger one. However, when we went to pay, and then we went back to pick them up, and they had been stolen. So part of the problem with auctions like this is logistically it would just be impossible for everybody to go and pay and then individually be given out their birds, because there are thousands of birds and hundreds of sellers and buyers. So you go and buy your birds, and then you take your list back to the auction, and then they go around and they snip open the cable ties on the cage. However, there isn't one person to man every cage, and so somebody had come along and opened the cage and just taken our birds before we had a chance to retrieve them. Sadly, it seemed that it happened to several people as well, so there was obviously some unscrupulous person trying to spoil the day. Now, we did get a refund for them, so it's not too bad, but we were hoping to have a nice trio of silver pheasants, and instead we just have the one. However, it just means we can go and buy another silver hen from a different place, more genes, genetic diversity, so it's not a major loss. The other thing I realised is I really should have taken some stock with me, but obviously because we had never been before, we didn't know. But next year I am going to take some silver Appiards, Khaki Campbells and Igsworth to sell, because there were good prices there. We could have made quite a nice bit of money, and actually maybe kind of bought and sold and been even. But that was Melton Mowbray, and they are our new birds. I'm very excited to see how they all get on. The majority of them, so the speckledy Sussex will be coming to live in here as my egg layers, but all the other chicken trios will be separately housed in the future to produce hatching eggs. And the Barnacle geese as well, next year we will put them in a chicken tractor so that we can have hatching eggs and things from them. But it was really nice to go and bid and buy more stuff.